such a high-quality Argentina side. Almost 550 caps between them. The lineup for these Argentine supporters to savour tonight, along with the rest of us, is the envy, really, of every opposing coach here at the Copa America. And I dare say, Gary Birtle, is the envy of every coach on the planet.
You have to say that. It's been absolutely magnificent. We went one behind against the USA, came back and just dominated, and without a doubt they're the most skillful team we've seen so far in this tournament. And you just fear for Colombia after the first performance against Paraguay. Possibly the worst performance, worst defensive performance I've seen, and worst goalkeeping I've seen. So they've got a lot to repay the coach for that performance.
Well, a place in the quarter-finals awaits Argentina if they can record a second successive victory in this Group C. Calero, the Colombian goalkeeper who shipped 5 against the Paraguayans, he had a particularly eccentric match. And a little surprised, Gary and myself, that Calero kept his place. A little bit of a breeze in the second city in Venezuela, Maracaibo, a population of around 2.25 million. Referee just checking that all is in order. It will be Argentina to get this second match in Group C for these two underway. Paraguay have already qualified for the last 8. They have picked up a maximum 6 points from their opening 2 matches. Or can Colombia upset the odds here and open up Group C, not only for themselves, but perhaps for the United States as well, if they can recover in their final match? But no question about it, Argentina start very firm favourites here. Didn't have it all their own way against the United States. They went a goal down, and a little over an hour in that match, the sides were still level. But in the end, they upped their game considerably in the last 30 minutes and ran out comfortable 4-1 winners.
The problem for Colombia is, how do they approach this game? They know they have to win it to have a chance of qualifying, so do they go and take the game to Argentina? Most teams don't do that because they're not allowed to.
Well, what Colombia most certainly are is a side struggling to find their preferred style of play. And it will be fascinating, as Gary points out, to see how they do approach it. This is Edixon Perea running at Ayala, who has support from Zanetti. But they've got pace, the front two. If they can just find a little bit of space, Rodallega and Edixon Perea. And they're both capable in and around goal. Arizala's throw, looking for Ferreira, who was the one bright spark, David Ferreira, in that 5-0 hammering against Paraguay.
He was the only bright spark. He tried everything he possibly could to get his team involved in that game, and unfortunately none of his teammates responded to his urgings. But a lot of players have got to put big performances here tonight because they were dreadful.
Ferreira will have pretty much a free role in midfield. This is Arizala looking for Rodallega. Forward by Ainse. Alfio Basile, the Argentina coach, quick to name an unchanged team from that which beat the United States. Although Pablo Aimar, who came off the bench in that match, performed particularly well. And there was some talk that he might replace Cambiasso in the starting 11, but same again for the coach.
It's refreshing to see. He respects his opposition, even though they got hammered 5-0 by Paraguay. He wants to qualify through this game. Clearly sees this team as the one that could do that for him.
Edixon Perea. Looked like a push by Vallejo.
Hardly looked like one. It's clearly one. Nutmegs there. Dixon Pereira's done more in the first 3 minutes than he did in 90 against Paraguay.
Ferreira. This is Vargas. Used to play his football in Argentina. Fabian Vargas with Boca Juniors. He's in Brazil at the moment with Internacional. Very experienced player at the heart of the Colombian midfield, Vargas, and they need a good game out of him.
Just the way they went down to Paraguay, there just seemed no passion, no desire, no willingness to get back in the game. The two centre-halves were just torn apart. Defending was awful. The goalkeeper, well, the less said about him, the better.
Zanetti of Inter Milan. His club teammate, Cordoba, is at the back for the Colombians this evening. They are two of no less than 8 Inter Milan players who are featuring at this Copa America.
Try anything to stop Messi, won't they? Kick in the backside there.
No progress for Veron. Held up well under intense pressure by Juan Román Riquelme. Back in the Argentina fold. 8 months out of it after he decided to retire after the last World Cup, but coaxed back into the international scene by the coach Basile.
Thank goodness he didn't coax him back in. One player I just love to watch. So comfortable on the ball. Very rarely gives it away. I think the criticism he got after the World Cup was highly out of order because he was one of the best players there until they got knocked out. Mr. Coach went very negative in one game, dragged Riquelme off in 2 others, and that's what lost them the World Cup because they were by far the best team in it.
It's a poor challenge here on Veron.
I think we'll see a few of those. We'll see one on Messi, a little niggly one. That's the problem Colombia have got. If you stop Riquelme, then you've got to stop Veron, then you've got to stop Crespo, then you've got to stop Messi. Oh, just so many people can hurt you in this team.
Expect to see Riquelme over most of the set pieces tonight. Ayala has made his way forward. That'll be a corner. First corner of the match then to Argentina. In by Messi, oh, and it's off the bar, but it didn't go in, according to the officials. Hernan Crespo off the underside of the bar, and somehow it stayed out.
Well, a terrific leap, just held himself in the air there, tremendous leap, and so unlucky not to be 1-0 up.
Beautifully flighted initial corner from Messi, who will work this one short now with Veron. Messi. Gonzalo getting the better of the Barcelona man. Forward by Vargas, looking for the run of Rodallega. Argentina, we recall, were many people's favourites to win the World Cup in Germany last year. Few will have forgotten that wonderful performance when they put 6 past Serbia and Montenegro. A fantastic display that was, and they really looked as if they would go all the way, but pulled up short.
Veron getting his own back there.
It is amazing that they've not won an international title since they won the Copa America in 1993. Good decision by the officials.
Yeah, Crespo, I think, was calling that it was a goal, but got it spot on, didn't they?
Basile just had a little inquiry there, but they got it absolutely spot on. Viafara of Southampton losing out to Manchester United's Gabi Heinze. There's been some speculation he might be on the move from Old Trafford. Did I hear something about a move to a certain club that played Anfield? That would go down well with the Manchester United faithful if it comes to fruition. And that's a foul from Heinze.
It would certainly be Mr. Popular, wouldn't it, going there? It's all over Ferreira there.
He was unlucky with the season just finished. Heinze missed a fair chunk of it with injury. Danzieri, the goalkeeper, right out towards the edge of his 6-yard area there to make sure that the players in front of him were switched on. It's going to be Vargas to deliver the free kick for Colombia. Ferreira! Oh, and it's in! And Colombia have the lead here against the favourites, Argentina. Cleverly worked free kick routine, and it's Argentina 0, Colombia 1.
Well, they were looking for the linesman's flag there, didn't go up. And again, they've gone 1-0 down, Argentina. Doesn't usually bother them. No marking at all. Free attempt at a deflection in the end by Pereira. Dixon Pereira gets the final touch. They looked a hint of offside. Didn't give it.
Without a doubt, a Dixon Pereira's goal. And Argentina just a little sloppy, and they weren't switched on. It was interesting that the goalkeeper was barking out the orders, but they didn't read that free kick taken by Vargas.
Give them credit. I think they would have gone out and Pinto, the coach, would have said, right, don't concede in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just be solid, just foul when you have to, stop the tempo of Argentina, don't let them pass it, cut down on the movement, and just be difficult to get past, and we might get something out of this. And at the moment, they've got something out of it. Now, it might be a dangerous thing, though. That might just wake Argentina up. Did against the USA, and they know they've got to win to be guaranteed.
Flag is up for offside against Argentina. I'm not sure that the referee has spotted that. He hasn't. Messi, well protected by Veron, and he's taken down by Ferreira. Vargas, in fact it was, who was in attendance there on Juan Sebastian Veron.
What he's saying to the referee, he gave the offside, the linesman gave the offside. You didn't give it, you've got to go and ask him, because this is dangerous now. Veron does well there, good strength, clear foul. But Vargas is livid because that flag did go up, and the referee should consult his linesman. If this goes in now, it's wrong. Look at this well-worked free kick, not the best of strikes, and just striker's instinct there, sticks a leg out, gets it on target, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's a good goal. It looked a bit scruffy, and that's what strikers do. They get a touch on things like that.
Well, more than an air of controversy if Argentina do profit from this situation. The referee just didn't see his assistant's flag. Just seconds before Vargas produced the foul on Veron. Ball does its job for Colombia.
Oh, they would have been livid, and rightly so.
Ayala, Ainse, Crespo, all looking for room in there. Cleared by the fists of the goalkeeper, Calero, and out comes Rodallega. Might just have a useful break on here, Colombia. Blue and white shirts looking to get back in numbers, and in the end it took a foul to halt the progress of Rodallega.
Well, he's got a yellow card for that. What's this here? Look at the theatrics there, all over the place.
Yellow card shown to Gabriel Milito of Real Zaragoza. Looks as though he's going to make a big money move somewhere in this close season. Barcelona look to be the favourites at the moment.
Well, let's give Colombia credit. They were atrocious against Paraguay, but they come out with a resilience, resolved to put it right. I think it surprised Argentina in a big way. Didn't expect this at all. Probably thought, well, we'll coast this, get through. But football doesn't give easy games like that.
And another foul on Veron. And the card is coming out again, this time for Luis Pereira.
I think so far you've seen what the coach Pinto has said to them. Any danger, just snuff it out straight away. And look at that, crude, spotted the danger. And every time an Argentinian player picks it up and there's a hint of a problem for Colombia, the cynicism comes out, the fouls are made, and so far the referee has done okay.
Lionel Messi nicely into the path of Riquelme, who tried to feed it on to Cambiasso.
This time it looks like the midfield are actually protecting the back four. Colombia a lot better than they did against Paraguay. It was all over the place against Paraguay. It was fragmented. It was not organised. This time the organisation is a lot better.
Dixon Pereira, the goal scorer, finding Vargas. Loses out to Mascherano, and then a no-nonsense challenge from Arizala. Mascherano has got a pretty sore right shin here. Referee reaching for the cards again.
Not the best looking tackle, is it? That's hurting without a doubt.
Veron's inquiring of Carlos Simon, the Brazilian referee, as well, to what he should do here.
I'm not happy with that. Mascherano was rolling around and he goes in. It's two-footed, one off the floor that catches him, but
Arizala.
This could turn really nasty. The referee really does have to crack down. So the referee in the Brazil game last night didn't do that, and as the game went on it just got worse for both sets of players, and the referee has got to be very strong.
Cordoba. Cut out by Ainse. Zanetti.
See it, the tactic is every time Argentina look a danger, foul. Keep saying it, but that is what's happening out there. You can see it, they're closing down, and when they can't close it down and snuff it out, that's what they do. Little cynical foul, and it just stops that momentum that we know if Argentina get into that stride with that momentum, they can destroy most teams. And at the moment, Colombia is stopping that happening. And he's 4 yards away from the free kick here. The referee's got to get him back. We can't be saying that.
Well, it'll be a dangerous game for the Colombians to concede too many free kicks around these areas. So adept Argentina, in by Riquelme, taken on by Messi. Down he goes into the challenge from Rodallega, and the referee says penalty. Well, the Colombians aren't happy, and it's an interesting decision from Carlos Simon.
Well, he does well there, and I don't think that's a penalty at all. He pulls out of it. I don't think there's any contact, and I think that's a very, very fortuitous penalty.
Rodallega, the number 11, was the player who made the challenge, in inverted commas, but I quite agree. I think with Gary having had a look at the replay, there didn't look to be too much contact. Messi made plenty of it.
Messi's foot was up as well.
Yeah. Hernan Crespo has the ball in hand, the player who scored twice against the United States in Argentina's opening match, and in doing so drew level with the great Diego Maradona's 34 international goals. Crespo called it an immense honour to draw level with Maradona. Now he can go second on the all-time list on his own if he can level it up here.
Nice haircut.
The exiled Chelsea striker, currently plying his trade in Italy with Inter Milan, Hernan Crespo, with the chance to make it 1-1 in Maracaibo. No nonsense. Injured himself in the process, but Argentina are level in fortunate circumstances.
Yeah, and unfortunate for Crespo, he's going off straight away. Like he's pulled a muscle, scoring that penalty. I have to say, it was one for Brazil last night that was a bit soft. It's a good strike, straight down the middle. Yeah, straight away, followed through, pulled up straight away. You could see something's amiss, calf or hamstring.
Looks as though he might have pulled a muscle at the front of his thigh, Crespo, and immediately he gestured towards the bench, and I think his night is over after just 20 minutes here. 35th international goal for Hernan Crespo. After Colombia, we feel a little unfortunate, more than a little unfortunate, to have conceded that penalty for the challenge on Lionel Messi. Well, no shortage of talent on the bench to replace Crespo. Carlos Tevez amongst them. But that's it for Crespo. No further part this evening. Diego Milito, the slightly older of the two Milito brothers in the side. Both of them play their football in Spain with Real Zaragoza. It's Diego Milito who comes on for Crespo.
Talk of decisions going the way of the favoured teams in the competition. We've seen a couple of dubious ones, to say the least. Yeah, you see him take it again. Hard to see what you think happens to him now. Does he land funny? Does he just pull up with a muscle strain?
Worrying moment though for Basile, the coach, and hope that it's not something that'll trouble Crespo for the rest of the tournament.
Well, they've got a very poor bench, haven't they, Argentina? Struggling to get quality players on the pitch if somebody goes off.
Yeah, but from his point of view, nobody wants to get injured, because you rightly say, Gary, the strength of the squad, you might just not get your place back. Got three terrific strikers on the bench, Palacio of Boca Juniors, Diego Milito, and the aforementioned Tevez.
I think as if Argentina do get through and qualify now, it gives them the chance to just rest Crespo, leave him out the last match, and get him ready, hopefully, for the knockout stages.
Well, I'm sure if Argentina go on to win this match, they will rest 5 or 6 for their one and only remaining Group C match. That'll be against Paraguay. who have qualified themselves for the quarterfinals. Argentina looking to do the same. Cambiasso has been hurried there by Villafara.
So much better from Colombia. The work ethic is 100 times better than it was against Paraguay. It looks like they've been given a tape of that game and said, right, look, you can see your deficiencies, you have to work harder, you have to be more professional, you have to be better disciplined and more organised, and they've certainly been that so far. Interesting.
It's a bit of a cut mouth for Gabiense. Villafara. In by Ferreira. Rodallega with the attempt at the bicycle kick. Almost executed it. Now Messi.
Hear the crowd lift when Messi picks the ball up and starts on one of those mazy runs of his.
Ayala will be playing his football this coming season with a new club in Spain. He's left Valencia to join Villarreal. Riquelme still owned by Villarreal, but he was loaned out to Boca Juniors for the second half of the season just finished. Interesting to see where he eventually ends up. Juan Román Riquelme.
Very quiet in the first 25 minutes of this game. He's not been allowed to get on the ball. Colombia know that he's the one. If you allow him time and space, he will create for others. Something at the moment, Argentina passing, giving away too easily. They've been knocked out of stride by Colombia.
This is the Colombian right back, Vallejo. Now Cordoba. Arizala. Dixon Pereira. Vargas. It's too long, even for the pacey Rodallega. It's Jorge Luis Pinto, the man who was coach of Costa Rica when the Copa America last took place in Peru 3 years ago. He is Colombian by birth. The busy little figure of Ferreira. Dixon Pereira. Ferreira again. Bondanzieri, the goalkeeper, thought about coming. There was just a little coming together of Cambiasso and Villafara. Nothing to duly attract the attention of referee Carlos Simon.
Trying to get something out of it, wasn't he? The referee saw that, didn't give it. Certainly gave the other one for Argentina, and I'm still not sure it was a penalty. I'm not convinced it wasn't.
Forward by Gabriel Milito. There's plenty of time here for Ivan Cordoba. Well, more Copa America football coming up for you on Tuesday. Peru against Bolivia starts us off 11 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. And then the hosts are in action again. It's been a good tournament so far for Venezuela as they take on Uruguay. Venezuela looking to reach the knockout stages for the first time in their history. Veron. Moved a little bit. It's a long way out, Juan Sebastian Veron, but goalkeeper Calero had to make sure he kept his eye firmly on that.
Well, it's a good strike, and why not? You've probably seen Calero's performance against Paraguay, weren't too impressed, and it's the first real save he's had to make. That's a surprise after 28 minutes of this game. I thought they'd have put him under pressure, but not to be yet.
Vargas. Ferreira.
Every time you saw Messi there pick it up, there's a shadow with him every time, giving nothing to work on at all.
Carlos Simon has given Argentina a free kick here. Just picking up Gary's point there with 2-3 yellow shirts grouping around Veron. Playing with a confidence that deserted them for most of the match against Paraguay.
Well, Rocky Santa Cruz scored a hat-trick in that game, and he believed the amount of time and space he got to actually do that. No such luxury for Argentina. Again, look. Again, a little bit unlucky. First viewing there.
Villafara claiming he got the ball. The referee thought he got a little more of Riquelme.
Unlucky there. I think he's got a touch of the ball, toe end, and side on the tackle.
It's within distance here for either Riquelme or Veron, who'll be the two favourites to strike from here. Diego Milito have joined that Colombian wall. In by Riquelme. Watched all the way by Miguel Calero.
It's better from Calero. A couple of saves now, his confidence will grow. Enough pace to beat him there. Gets it up and over quickly, but needs a lot more pace on that. Going back to the referee, and I thought the first stage games, the referees were excellent. They stopped the theatrics diving, they punished it. Second round of games, I think it's totally changed. Stark contrast. Some dubious decisions, poor refereeing.
Certainly been an intriguing Copa America up to now. We have not been short of goals, 39 in total. Averaging over 3 a match, which is what the tournament provided 3 years ago in Peru, and that was the first time that that average had been reached since the mid-70s in the Copa America. A refreshing attitude from all of the nations here in Venezuela.
Give the crowds credit as well. I think the atmosphere in the stadiums has been terrific. When all that rain was coming down the other night, the percussionists, the drummers kept it going, the game, carnival atmosphere. I think it lifts players. You can hear that in the background. Sometimes you try and put it to the back of your mind, sometimes you don't hear it, but the colour and the noise, the stands has been terrific.
Well, I know the president of CONMEBOL, the football federation in this region, who's a Paraguayan, Oscar Harrison, said he'd never seen so much enthusiasm for the organisation of an event such as this. Venezuela waited over 90 years to be hosts, and they're certainly going to make up for the long wait, and they're hoping that smooth running of this tournament will lead perhaps to Venezuela getting one of the junior World Cup tournaments from FIFA in the immediate years to follow. It's not just about the staging of the Copa America, it's the 3 new stadiums that have been built for this tournament. They, of course, will stay in place. The infrastructure, which has improved the transportation and communications generally in Venezuela, they'll stay in place. And come Argentina, on the headers, squeezed past Calero, and Juan Román Riquelme has given Argentina a 2-1 lead. And you have to say, question marks about the goalkeeping.
Well, I was just thinking about the goal they scored the other night, the passing and the patience. They've not had a lot of time to do that in this game. The build-up was terrific again there. The marking not the best, the keeper poor again. Riquelme, of all people, gets in there. But what he does, he gets it on target, he gets it on a downward basis, inside the post. Difficult for the goalkeeper to scramble across to. I think better goalkeepers in the world may have got that. But don't take anything away from Riquelme. Glided into the box, timed his run well. Just got the right contact. Didn't quite show you the build-up again. It was a number of passes. Messi was involved, and that's what Argentina are about.
John Villafara of Southampton is labouring here. They've already had to make one enforced, or rather Argentina having to make an enforced substitution when Crespo went off. I wonder if Colombia are going to be in the same situation here. There's a bit of concern there, but I think he's okay.
Well, they went 1-0 behind to the USA, came back and won 4-1, 1-0 down here. And you just know that there's a way back for them. And they know that as well. They're that confident in their own ability. But if one of the players or 2 of the players have an off day, 3 or 4 will come to the plate and, you know, turn the game on its head. It's Riquelme this time. Gets on the score sheet. Not often you see that. With a header.
Here's Zanetti. Oh, squeezed a teasing ball in, which Calero was mighty glad to grab in the end.
Milito attacked the near post really well. Now, reaction from Colombia. Do they feel sorry for themselves again and just go into the shell? Or do they carry on doing what got them in the lead? And it was a lot better than the performance against Paraguay. Close down, not allow Argentina space. The one time they have allowed them space and time to pass it, Argentina score. I say it's so difficult to keep that concentration for 90 minutes against a team with this many quality players in it. And Argentina know that. They know an opening will come eventually.
Excellent opening 20 minutes from the Colombians. Took the lead through a deflected goal from a Dixon Pereira. Player in possession now. But fortuitous penalty put away by Hernan Crespo, who was injured in the process of scoring that penalty and has since gone off. And now Juan Román Riquelme's 9th goal for Argentina has the favourites in front. This is Arizala.
Strange when Crespo stepped up to take that penalty. It was like a lot of people watching them surely thought, who's that taking that penalty? Not used to seeing him with the long flowing locks, fresh-faced. And his wife finally had enough and said, get your hair cut. But long hair, short hair, he still does the job.
One of the last opportunities, of course, for a fine generation of Argentine players such as Zanetti, Ayala, Crespo and Veron to win a major title. Riquelme, Messi, Cambiasso, thought about the shot and then plays a fine pass, but offside. Diego Milito.
What a great position he took up there. I thought Cambiasso was going to have a shot there, and all of a sudden, but he is miles off, and he didn't need to be. Got so much space there. If he could just hold his run, he was in anyway.
Argentina determined to make up for the bitter disappointment of losing the final in Peru 3 years ago on penalties to Brazil. Here's Messi, Cambiasso. Deflection off Diego Milito, almost fell for Cambiasso again.
Messi's just started to take charge of this game, dropping deep. He's not staying in right-hand side, left-hand side. He's all over the place, running across the line, and when he starts doing that, who marks him? You pass him on. He's being man-marked. Does the man go with him and leave a space somewhere else? That's the problems they cause you. Go back to that World Cup when they got knocked out. The ball put in there, Riquelme just gets a little deflection off the defender. Wasn't the bravest of headers. He's got a slight deflection. Goalkeeper did get a fingertip to it. Going back to that World Cup, I was livid that they'd been knocked out. You know, obviously wanted England to win it as an Englishman. But what we saw from them in that tournament was some of the best football I've ever seen. And to be deprived of watching them go further by a coach who went negative and deprived some of those great players of getting to a final, I was livid for them more than anything, because there was no need to go negative, and I think this manager now doesn't play like that. He's very positive, he allows them to express themselves totally, and that's what you want to see in a team like this.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on there, Gary. Jose Pekerman was the man in charge at the World Cup, but Alfio Basile, the man who first took charge of Argentina back in the early 90s and won 2 Copa Americas, very much preaches winning with style. It's a Colombia corner, though, and they're playing a lot better than they did against Paraguay. Couldn't have played much worse, in truth. Arizala with a shot, Abondancieri with a save, and Gabi Milito there first for Argentina, importantly.
We talk about all the flair players and what they do going forward. This is defending the highest quality. Sees his goalkeeper parry it, he's alert, aware, and he clears the danger. Had he stood still, that could have been the equaliser.
Again, a similar corner routine from Colombia. This is Ferreira. He's made room for the cross. Away by Cambiasso.
Well, if nobody picks Ferreira up after his 2 performances I've seen so far, there's something wrong, because he can play.
Well, it's a showcase, of course, for many of these players at the Copa America. The scouts are here in numbers. And Ferreira, as Gary rightly says, catching the eye. 27 years old, plays in Brazil with Atletico Paranense.
Here's the good defending. Decent save because he's dipping, but look at the reaction of Milito. Had he not done that, Colombia would have been one-on-one with the keeper. Sometimes defenders don't get enough credit. All the flair players get the credit, but got to give big credit for reaction there. That's what defenders are supposed to do.
Esteban Cambiasso finding Veron, who, like Riquelme, has found his way back into the international arena. Took a bit of a gamble, Veron, on the ball here now, to go back to the club where it all started for him, Estudiantes. He's just led them to the league title. Header on was from Ferreira, able to pick out Rodallega.
Not the biggest Ferreira, but he's brave. He gets forward, he joins in with the strikers, he tries to get past them. He's a busy little player.
Defeat for Colombia would almost certainly mean that they had no chance of progressing to the quarter-finals. United States without a point from their opening 2 matches. Colombia would be in the exact same position if they were to succumb here to the favourites. Colombia have had a good record in the Copa America of late. They were semi-finalists and beaten by Argentina 3 years ago, and winners back in 2001. Vallejo. A little over a minute of normal time remaining at the end of the first half. The first half in which Argentina took some time to come to the boil. Here's Messi, taking on all comers, Lionel Messi. Foul by Vallejo. No question about it. That's the only way they could stop the 20-year-old Lionel Messi.
He just lifts you out your seat when he picks the ball up. His balance, his low centre of gravity, he's just infectious. These are the players you just want to watch again and again and again. They just make you smile. They just make you want to watch football. It's just breathtaking at times. It really is.
Well, nervy moments here for Colombia. Another Argentina goal, and they can start firmly believing that their place is assured in the quarter-finals. Four blue and white shirts in and around that Colombian wall. Now is Riquelme going to strike or tee it up for Verón? No, it's Riquelme! Brilliant! Quite superb from Juan Román Riquelme, and he is back on the international scene with a vengeance.
Well, his first goal, a header, not one you see very often, got a slight deflection. This one totally different. Got his range with the first one, got it up and over, but the keeper saved it. This time, the keeper gets nowhere near it. Where's that come from? The run of Messi. Poor wall, they just disintegrate there. It's power rather than deftness there. Good power, but the wall has got to answer a lot of questions there. The goalkeeper can't be happy with that. Unless he's not set the wall up right. Give credit to him. Pace, direction. Keeper nowhere near it, and you have to say, danger signs out now in a big way for Colombia.
8 goals the Colombians have now conceded in 1.5 matches. Riquelme now on a hat-trick. Started so brightly for the side in yellow, took the game to Argentina in that opening quarter of an hour or so.
The difference was from the first game, they were all talking about going long. The coach wanted them to go long. This game, they've not. They've passed it, they've kept possession, they've closed down well, they've done all the basics well, which they didn't against Paraguay. I think they've been a bit unfortunate to be pegged back with that penalty.
Sorry, Gary, I was going to say it was always their style down the years as well to play a passing game. Remember the great Colombian team of Carlos Valderrama and Freddy Rincon.
They were a joy to watch, weren't they?
Team that once beat Argentina in Buenos Aires 5-0, but they've got a big job on here in the second half, Colombia, if they're going to come back from this after they've taken the lead with a goal from Edixon Perea. Lionel Messi won a rather fortunate penalty put away by Crespo, and a header and a free kick from Juan Román Riquelme have the favourites firmly in the box seat, leading 3-1.
Looks comfortable, doesn't it? Again, though, they went behind. They went behind the USA in the opening game, and, well, maybe they're just trying to give you a hard time, Aussie. Make you think about things for a moment. We'll hear from Aussie Idealers and Roy Hodgson in just a moment after the break. Colombia tried to kick Argentina off the park early on, but there was no roughing up Riquelme, that's for sure. He's the man of the moment. Argentina 3-1 ahead at half-time.
It's time. Too smooth Jason Booth.
He's got some future.
Faces Ian Napper.
That's excellent from Napper.
For the British Bantamweight title. With SkyPoker.com, Friday at 10, Sky Sports 2.
I think Brazil played better the first game than the second. But they won 3-0, so they will qualify, of course. And like I said right at the beginning, the championship between Argentina and Brazil. They are the two big guys in South America. They have the best player, all the players play in Europe, in the top leagues. So I believe the champion will come from one of them.
It seems to be that often, as we're seeing now, when teams come out for the second half, one team takes an age to come out rather than the other. Is that a tactical decision that they take, or is it just a little lack of discipline coming out of the tunnel?
Maybe one team talks longer than another.
Maybe the manager want to talk a little bit more than the other. It's a little bit of both, I would say. Yeah.
An interesting factor, I think, is that Ozzy's point about Argentina conceding the first goal. I think if you concede the first goal against a team of Brazil's quality, it's going to be much harder to get back in, and that could open you up for further counter-attack. So I think that if they're going to improve any aspect of their game, the first 10 minutes and not conceding in the first 10 minutes is going to be something which Basile is going to talk about.
So you're saying they can get away with it against the lesser opposition, but it's a lesson that needs to be learnt early in this competition?
Well, you could always get away with it. They've got so many good players. I'm not saying they couldn't come back against anybody, but I'm saying if you want to make life a little bit easier for yourself, it's important not to go a goal down. And in international football today, to come back from a goal down against a team of the same level, at the same level as you, is getting harder and harder.
Well, they have come from behind tonight. 10 minutes they were behind, but after 45 minutes they're 3-1 up. Let's get the remaining 45 minutes of this one. Argentina against Colombia. The commentary team, Gary Birtles with Kevin Keatings.
Welcome back to a colourful Maracaibo, where Colombia in the yellow shirts will play from left to right in the second half. Carlos Simon, our Brazilian referee, not too kind, we feel, to Colombia to gift Argentina a penalty for the favourites in this Copa America 2007 to level it up at 1-1 during the first half. But since then, it's been the Juan Roman Riquelme show, and Argentina in cruise control, you would feel, with that current scoreline, and the possibility of helping themselves to more goals in the second half.
They're a team that will sit back and just enjoy their 3-1 lead. They're a team that want to punish teams and grind them into the dirt.
There was a mistake there by Gabriel Milito, but Ince nicked the ball off the toe of Dixon Pereira.
We've just been talking about the defending in the studio at half-time. First 10 minutes of the game don't look very composed. Straight away there, under pressure, seem to switch off a little bit.
Gabriel Milito has picked up his second yellow card of the tournament. That means he will miss the next match. It's not a particularly costly exclusion, because almost certainly Argentina will have booked their place in the quarter-final after tonight's proceedings. So there would have been the distinct possibility that Gabi Milito might have been one of several players rested anyway. It's going to stay in here for Villafara. Rodayega's header causing too much trouble to Argentina at the back.
Again, defending a little bit deep. Not really switched on to the start of this second half.
First meeting of these two since a World Cup qualifier back in 2005, which Argentina won by a Hernan Crespo goal to nil. Crespo injured in the first half, injured in the act of scoring from the penalty spot. An unusual problem that he picked up. Looks like a thigh muscle injury was what we detected, and Argentina will be hoping for some good news that it may not be bad enough to rule him out of the rest of the tournament, but that's yet to be confirmed one way or the other. Riquelme. Mascherano, wide here for Zanetti. Messi. Foul by Banguero on Veron.
Carbon copy of the start of the first half. Next time they pick it up in midfield. There you go, get down.
Riquelme. Diafara penalised this time.
Can't get it off and kick it. It's so frustrating when you're playing against somebody like Riquelme, like Messi, because you think you're there, you think you're getting the ball, and the next minute they're away from you.
Zanetti. Touch on by Riquelme, cleared by Cordoba. Neatly done by Cambiasso. Must be so frustrating for the Argentina fans to see so many of these star players perform so well at the big clubs around Europe, but not win a major trophy for many years now. And a lot to admire about their build-up again there.
It's just, you can't take your eyes off them. It's an absolute joy to be able to commentate and to watch players with this ability. To be fair, the tournament has provided a lot of technical ability, not just from the top teams, you know, from the Bolivias and Venezuelas and Perus. You know, you see the technical ability so high. Everybody's comfortable on the ball.
But this is a different level altogether.
It is. It's what everybody has to strive for. Never perfection, but it's as close as you can get at times.
Well, few would argue that we're watching the best team in world football at the moment. Italy may well have won the World Cup. In terms of sheer flamboyance, quality, I don't think anybody surpasses Argentina. Riquelme. Taken away by Veron, but he's got it back again.
He's been the weakling for me in midfield, Veron. Giving it away too much. Again, exactly the same as the first half. Any danger, whack. Team players are down on the floor.
Mascherano finding Cambiasso. Lovely switch of play to pick out Messi. Oh, beautifully done. Here's Zanetti. Great roar went up from the crowd there as a little back heel from Messi found Zanetti. Here's Cambiasso. Turned into a pass in the end for Lionel Messi.
Back heel was terrific from Messi, but he didn't just stand and admire. What he did, he moved again. He was off. 10 yards, he wanted that return, and it's a sign of a great player. Some will stand and admire the flick. Others, like Messi, would go and try and get it back. Look again, he's off. Lays it, goes.
This time, he managed to get a foot in via Luis Pereira. Colombia needing a little bout of possession here. Vargas picks out Diafara.
He's not scored yet, Messi, has he?
No. It'll be too long, though.
About the only thing he hasn't done.
Riquelme, this man has. He's got a couple. Looking to find Diego Milito.
Part to play all 3 goals. Messi in the build-up and the penalty.
Riquelme.
The beat, the whole game from Argentina's got the beat, it's just got everything. The Ole's coming. It's horrible for the opposition.
And this is the sort of football that Brazil served up, which we indulged in over so many years. Current Brazil squad that's here at the Copa America not finding this sort of rhythm up to now, at least. Notwithstanding a hat-trick for Robinho in the last game, but they were poor. Apart from that, there's a yellow card here for Vargas.
It's no surprise, was it? All the possession they kept there, double-footed. That's just frustration of what was going on. Look at that, that's a dangerous one. And he's moaning and complaining about getting a yellow card. But that's purely down to the fact they were being made to look silly because of the possession, the movement of Argentina.
Just a little bit too far out for a direct strike from Riquelme. He'll be hungry, naturally, for a hat-trick. Short with Veron. Now Mascherano, Riquelme. Dixon Pereira. Not best pleased with the assistant referee on this near side, because the last touch appeared to come off the Colombian player. Earlier in this Group C, Paraguay defeated the United States by the same scoreline as we have here. Paraguay have booked their place in the quarterfinals. Mexico are also through to the last 8. Argentina well on the way to joining that pair. Remember, it's the top 2 from each group who progress, along with the 2 best placed third place teams. Almost certain elimination for Colombia, given the fact that their goal difference is a wretched one. It's 1 scored and 8 against currently. Defeat here, and they're almost certainly making the quick journey back across the border. Dixon Pereira, Rodallega. Mascherano. Room now for Riquelme. That spells danger for Colombia. Diego Milito. Well, it's a familiar theme, isn't it? Whenever the danger signals are hoisted, the Colombians quite happy to give away free kicks.
Major body check there. They just don't want to be embarrassed again. They were embarrassed 5-0 by Paraguay. Just do not want to get that sort of hammering again. His wall wasn't particularly good for Riquelme's second goal.
It's not the biggest wall we've ever seen in front of Riquelme now, just 2.
Look how far they are away from the ball. 4 or 5 yards. That's rubbish.
Yes, that's not the first time, though, we've seen a wall nowhere near the yardage they should be, and the referees ought to be clamping down on that.
It takes away the enjoyment of the crowd seeing somebody with the technique and the ability to get it up and over a wall and on target. You just can't do it when it's only 4 or 5 yards away. It's impossible.
Villafara. lost a spectator tonight. Pondancieri, despite having to pick the ball out of the net first after Dixon Pereira's surprise opening goal for Colombia. Once again, Argentina firmly underlining their favourites tag here in the Copa America 2007. Zanetti. Messi. Lovely build-up again. This is Riquelme, and it's Cambiasso. And a save by Calero to deny Diego Milito what would have been a fantastic Argentina goal.
Give the goalkeeper credit. He hasn't done a great deal wrong tonight. He did against Paraguay, but he's just denied everybody of a wonderful goal again. You just commentate with a smile on your face when you see things like that. And again, who's instrumental? Two players, Riquelme, Messi. You think he's over it, but he does well. He's down early, but he's still got enough about him just to get a parry on it and grasp it in the second attempt. But the 1-2s that were played there to open Colombia up, to let Cambiasso in, to put a good ball across the face of the goal. You just want this half to last 90 minutes when you're watching Argentina.
You certainly do. This is Ainse.
Everybody wants a piece of the action, don't they? This is not having a go at Colombia because it's a game.
Lovely turn from Messi. Riquelme. He's trying to pick out Diego Milito.
Twice on the trot, free kick was awful, so was that delivery. And this goes down early, and he's still got enough about him, awareness, to just parry that ball and grab it in the second attempt. Build the pass in, it's just phenomenal at times. And it's done at pace, it's not pedestrian.
Ferreira. Rodallega.
If I were anybody involved in any of the English clubs in the Premiership, I would say, right, go and learn all you can from the coaching techniques in Argentina, in Holland maybe, the teams who are fabulous on the ball and play like this. A lot to learn.
Vargas. Dixon Pereira. He's running into traffic there. Shoulder for Mascherano principally.
They do the hard work as well, don't they, Argentina? You saw there, Mascherano's there to do that. He's the backup. He's the one who provides for Riquelme, for Messi. Then he'll hold. Then he'll track back. He'll break things up for them. So great teams have got a player like that. Dunga did it for Brazil. Didier Deschamps did it when France won the World Cup. You know, allowed Zidane to get forward. So important, players like that.
Southampton's John Villafara off, replaced by Jaime Castrillon. Plays for the Medellin club in Colombia. Straight swap in midfield.
Substitutions doesn't help the opposition because you see the players coming on. We saw Aymar and Tevez come on before in the first game. You thought, oh no, fresh legs of those players. You have to give Colombia a bit of credit because they had to bounce back from that 5-0 humiliation. And I think their application has been particularly good. Especially the first 25 minutes of the game. It's been difficult for them since then, once Argentina got back into the game. But they've not given up, they've not felt sorry for themselves. They're still trying to keep themselves organised and trying to find out a little way back into this game.
I think
get a goal. Who knows? Two strikers that never really got involved in the game. Pereira scored, and Dixon Pereira scored, but Diego just well shackled by Argentina.
This is the substitute, Castrion. Arizala. And Vargas. Riquelme takes the ball so well.
Just protects it really well. Look where he is now, Messi. How deep he drops to start things off. There he is again, gone for the return. There he is, crudely brought down yet again. 3-4 players. His starting positions are so impressive. You think there's no danger there, he's in his own half. The next minute, he's accelerated 20-30 yards away, and this happens. They'll just stop him any way they possibly can. Amazing talent. Crude.
Just caught around the throat area there, Lionel Messi, and he's not recovering too quickly here. He's going to need some attention, I'm sure, because that was a strong challenge on the youngster. Left him gasping for breath.
Not surprised. There's ABH there from the three of them.
No extra treatment needed in the end, but he was shaken up a bit there.
Colombia would be hoping he'd be asking for a substitution there.
Even though they're 3-1 up, Ayala has made his way forward here from the backs as Argentina look for a fourth. Comfortable take for Calero.
He's just dropped off a little bit, but when he drops off, it's strange because you very rarely see him make bad decisions.
Riquelme was the star of the show when Boca Juniors won the recent Copa Libertadores, the South American version of the Champions League. He was absolutely sensational in the two-leg final against the Brazil club Grêmio. Scored both goals in the second leg in Brazil. Riquelme, 2 goals here tonight on his international return. Forward by Cambiasso. Colombia looking to make another substitution. Pinto, Basile, the respective coaches. And, certainly Basile has come out on top here, all the quality at his disposal. Must be a joy to coach this wonderful generation of Argentine footballers.
Do you need to coach them?
Well, one of the things that's come out since Basile's taken over for a second spell is how much the players respect him, just the simplicity with which it's all done by, and maybe that's the telling point, Gary, that they don't need a great deal of coaching. It is all so simple. They just go out, play with a smile on their face, like you said earlier, and the rest takes care of itself.
Well, I was lucky enough to play for a guy called Brian Clough, who just wanted you to do what you were good at. You do what you're good at, I don't care about what you're not good at. And that was the attitude, and he sent you out, and you were confident when you went out, knowing that, right, I can do this, I can do that. I'm not so good at the other thing, but the gaffer doesn't mind about that. If it comes right, he'll be delighted. But he was positive. And a lot of coaches now, I think, say, well, let's work on what you're bad at. You know, they say, well, you're not very good at that, instead of, you're brilliant at that. That's more positive thinking. It seems like the Argentina coach, you know, just preaches that sort of logic, and the players respond to it. You're bound to, because you're happy going out as a player.
Into the last quarter of the match in Maracaibo. On Tuesday, we'll turn our attentions to Group A of the Copa America. We start with Peru against Bolivia. 11 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. And that'll be followed by the hosts, Venezuela, who are going well so far against a rather in-and-out Uruguay.
Collision with Veron there, right in front of the referee, and now he gives him a yellow card. Well, why didn't he do that in the first place? I don't think that's a yellow card. He just runs straight into him, and Veron as mystified as anybody.
Fifth yellow card of the game for Juan Sebastian Veron. When he returned to Estudiantes, it was the first time back in his native Argentina playing football for a decade. An interesting career.
Didn't quite happen for him at Manchester United, did it? Not in the Premiership, but when he got into the European Champions League, he looked a different player.
Yes, the Champions League seemed to suit him a lot better than the hurly-burly of the Premiership. It's Vargas who's got the injury for Colombia.
Colombia can take any positives out of this game, especially the second half, and not conceded again. 20 minutes to go, near enough, and kept it down to 3-1.
This is Veron. Now Messi.
Do you think the coach, to be fair to him, has a rethink about the long ball, getting it forward? He's reverted back to what they do well. Get them organised, passing it.
There's been no experimentation about this Argentina squad that's come to Venezuela for the Copa America 2007. Set their intentions out very clearly in the build-up that they're here to win it. And they haven't done it since 1993, when the man now in charge, Basile, was the coach. They won it in Ecuador. They have won it an equal record 14 times along with Uruguay. But amazing that they're looking for their first international crown in almost a decade and a half.
It's a big surprise when you see the players that have come through their system.
Certainly the big crowds that have turned up for this tournament have been richly entertained. The legacy that'll be left when the circus leaves is a strong game of football in Venezuela. It's been growing in strength. The national team's been improving over the last 6 or 7 years. The top division in Venezuela is going to increase from 10 clubs to 18.
Only good for world football that teams like Venezuela and Bolivia's and Peru's, people like that are in these tournaments and progressing, not in leaps and bounds, but steadily. You can't expect to become Argentina or Brazil overnight. It comes over a period of time working with players, and you just hope that a few gems come from their respective countries.
Referee has given a corner here to Colombia. Argentina, you feel, playing well within themselves in the second half. Content with the current scoreline. Goal now for Colombia might make life a little interesting. Oh, they've got it! Abondanzieri couldn't keep out the header. And I think it might have been Castrillon who's come on in the second half, who got his head to it. He's getting all the congratulations. And Jaime Castrillon has made it 3-2. And now it is interesting in Maracaibo.
Well, they can't take anything for granted now. They can't play within themselves. It's a powerful downward header. The ball was a quality one from Ferreira. Whipped him with pace. Look how many striped shirts are there. It's quite a long way out. Bit of an angle, but gets enough power to beat the goalkeeper particularly well.
Well, as Gary was saying a little earlier in second half commentary, you do have to hand it to Colombia. The heads haven't gone down totally when others might against this superbly talented Argentina side. They have got it back to 3-2 and still plenty of time to go.
I think you're right, Kevin, about the lackadaisical ways of approach, because they haven't been a pleasure to watch, but they have played within themselves. They could have let themselves go a little bit freer, but they thought they could cope with leading 3-1 and didn't really see Colombia as a threat in the second half. Think again. One goal in it.
Well, now beware the wounded animal. Argentina looking to strike back quickly with a fourth. All the way through there for Riquelme. Colombia not without their support, to say the least, inside this packed stadium. It's a short hop from the northwest tip of Venezuela, where we are in the second city of Maracaibo. Only a short hop over the border to Colombia.
Again, Ozzy Ardiles alluded to it at half-time and before the kick-off regarding the defending of Argentina. They've got all the talent and ability in the world going forward, but at times they do switch off. Like you said, if you switch off against the better teams, the big teams, you find it difficult to make a way back into a game.
Rodallega.
Surprised me to see some substitutions now from Argentina. 15 minutes to go. Just to add a bit of fire into the bellies of Argentina. Some want to come on and prove a point, want to make their way into this side and make the coach pick them by the performance when they get out there. Tevez came on and scored. Aymar came on and scored.
It's Colombia who are going to make the switch, and David Ferreira, who's got through a lot of industry again, as he did in the 5-0 defeat against Paraguay. Who's far and away the best player. McNelly Torres, who did come on in that Paraguayan match, again comes off the bench.
It's a surprise to me, Ferreira going off, unless he's got a niggle of some sort.
Didn't look that way, did it?
No.
Here's Riquelme. Finding the run here of Messi. What's it on that left foot? Lionel Messi!
I think he should have played it in Milito the first time. Riquelme played it through. He puts it across the face of the goal. Milito had taken up a great position.
Castrillon, whose headed goal has Colombia back in with a squeak here. Should be the goalkeepers.
Messi wanted to go all by himself there. You can understand it. He's desperate to get on the score sheet.
Diego Milito. Gets past a rather weak challenge from Cordoba. This is Riquelme. Veron. Well, our minds go back now to that rather controversial refereeing decision in the first half, which led to Argentina's equaliser after a Dixon Pereira had given Colombia a surprise early lead. And Rodallega was penalised for a challenge on Messi, which we didn't think was a penalty. The referee did, and now that decision Could be very costly for Colombia's hopes of going further in this tournament. Lucho Gonzalez of Porto is stripped and ready to come on for Argentina, midfield player. This is Castrillon.
Springing their step of the Colombians now. Why shouldn't there be?
That's offside, surely.
It'd be interesting to see the timing of the run. The ball was played.
I don't think the flag went up. The Argentine arm certainly did.
Bad angle to see whether the run was timed to perfection when the ball was played. The flag definitely didn't go up.
Good look from the coach to see if it did. It stayed down, and that was a chance for Castrillon.
Terrific chance. Again, the defending is called into question.
For all the superlatives that we use, as a yellow card has been shown here to Banguero, all the superlatives which we afford Argentina, and deservedly so. We have seen in major tournaments, World Cups, where they've been far better than the opposition on the occasion, but somehow they just seem to have that little bit of fragility from the mental side of the game. And, is it going to be costly here? Still 10 minutes left. Veron departs, replaced by Lucho Gonzalez.
Not the force he was.
Outrageously talented Gonzalez, had a fine season in Portugal with Porto. It's a prerequisite, isn't it, to make the Argentina squad? I think you have to be outrageously talented.
The thing I like about Argentina as well, they've been kicked from pillar to post, Messi and Riquelme in particular, and still they want the ball all the time. That was a foul on Messi, he was pulled back, referee didn't give it.
Zanetti. Forward by Gonzalez. Foul on Luis Pereira.
Certainly was. Never going to get there.
Well, they've got terrific support inside this stadium of Colombia. Have they got another goal in them? Vallejo.
More to the organisational skills that they've got back in this game. They've concentrated well.
Vargas getting the benefit of the decision as he was challenged by Mascherano. It's going to drop here. It's a real chance. Argentina get an important block on there.
Now tell me, why didn't he hit that first time? A lot of space, a lot of time for him to hit it first time, and he takes another touch and allows the defenders the time to block it. You've got to take that early. When an opening comes like that, you strike it. You take another touch, you let the defender close you down.
Torres, who had the chance for Colombia, will they get a better one than that in the remaining 8 minutes? Riquelme. Mascherano. One of 11 English-based players here at the Copa America. Here's another of them, Ainse. Cambiasso of Inter Milan. Now Messi. Argentina into this familiar pass and move routine, which brought them a wonderful goal against the United States. Some 20 passes in the move, which led to a scoring header for Pablo Aimar. Well, we've seen the last of Lionel Messi, at least for tonight. And for the rest of the defenders in this tournament, he'll be back. Been a joy to watch again.
Amazing talent.
This fella isn't half bad either.
Kiss for his mate.
Carlos Tevez, who came off the bench to score in the 4-1 win in their opening match in this group against the United States. His future still to be determined. Inter Milan, Real Madrid, amongst the players vying for his services. Well, that was almost a gift there from the goalkeeper, Bondanzieri.
Hasn't had a great deal to do. Picked the ball out of the net a couple of times.
Many West Ham fans looking on. We'll hope that this man is going to stay at Upton Park, of course.
Rattled by that second goal, giving the ball away a bit cheaply now.
Arizala looking to trouble the goalkeeper, and he certainly did that. Bondanzieri was way off his line.
Fantastic vision. This is meant. Look at that precision. Lined it up, and it's good goalkeeping in the end. Had it covered, just it's the top of the crossbar. How lucky is he there? She's got a fingertip on it.
Colombia's corner, repelled, at least for now, by Argentina. This by Arizala, the player who went so close there to make it 3-3. It's been an eventful night in Maracaibo. It's been an eventful Copa America. And the favourites still not home in this one. Cambiasso.
Wasn't bad from a fullback, was it, that attempt? Arizala.
We gave the ball away so much in the 5-0 defeat against Paraguay. I hesitated to call it as a deliberate attempt, but you were quite right looking on the replay, Gary, that he didn't mean it.
He set himself, his balance was good, saw the goalkeeper off his line, and he must have got a fingertip to get it onto the top of the crossbar.
Challenge on Gonzalez. This is Torres.
What you can see them wanting to do now, Argentina, is just keep the ball, but they're not that sort of a team. They just want to keep going forward, trying to create something. And at the moment, they're giving the ball back to Colombia.
It's a plucky performance from the Colombians. Torres thought about the shot, got away from Mascherano.
Fans will be thinking, how can Paraguay beat us 5-0 and we're 1 behind Argentina, the favourites? It's just a totally different performance from Paraguay. It was loose, it was embarrassment, it was unprofessional, the performance against Paraguay. This has been totally different. It's been workmanlike, it's been good organisation, and the concentration's been particularly good.
For once, Argentine pass goes astray.
Look at this. I don't think he gets a touch on that. I think that's straight on the bar. It is, straight on the crossbar.
Mighty relief goalkeeper. Basile's team were cruising at 3-1, looked at any stage as if they could help themselves to a fourth goal, take them further away from their opponents, but Colombia still in with a chance. They're almost certainly going home if they lose again. It'll be back-to-back defeats. Hard to see where they get a best place third finish from that situation.
I said at 70 minutes, they've done particularly well. They kept the score down to 3-1, and who knows if they get a goal back, they could get something out of it. They've got a goal back, still they might get something out of it. First time Argentina looking a little bit ragged.
Arizala hit the bar earlier, going for glory again. Diego Milito. Cambiasso. Less than a minute and a half of normal time remaining. Tevez.
So strong, isn't he, Tevez? Not the biggest, but good body strength.
Gonzalez. Riquelme, lovely way to pass. Diego Milito can't take the chance. A presentable one for him.
It was terrific ball into his path, but give Calero credit, he came out, stayed big, made it difficult for Milito.
Consistent goal scorer in a couple of seasons in Spain with Real Zaragoza. Diego Milito. Beautifully played into space though by mercurial Riquelme. Here come Colombia, still with time to bag themselves an important equaliser. About to find out how much stoppage time and Brazilian referee Carlos Simon. 4 minutes he has afforded Colombia here. Hope springs eternal for the side in yellow.
That's the most amount of extra minutes we've had in the tournament so far. It's usually been 2 or 3 minutes. It tells you that the games have been competitive but honest. Not a lot of problems for the referee to cope with.
Cry of anguish from Cambiasso as he was challenged there by Vargas.
I winced there as well. Look at that. That's a shocker.
Vargas is already on a yellow card and he's seeing a red now.
I'm not surprised. Deserved red as well. As soon as I saw that, my sharp intake of breath, because it was a poor one. Why is he arguing? Look at this. There's no attempt for the ball there. That could have been a serious injury. Cambiasso didn't play act. It hurt, but he was straight on his knees and straight up.
Straight red card shown by the referee there for Fabian Vargas. Colombia with 2.5 minutes of time added on to find the equaliser they very much need. Keep alive their interest, but it may be extinguished now, and it is deflected. Diego Milito's shot deflected past Calero, and that is quarter-final qualification for the favourites Argentina.
No chance for Calero, but again a wonderfully crafted goal. A patient little build-up, 2-3 passes, cushion header down, gets his luck with the deflection, but it was on target. Look at that little ball there, lovely little dink, intelligent header down. It gets a deflection. Calero's got no chance with it, but there's a header from Tevez. Deflection there. It's a cushion header straight in the path of Milito. And I think he's wiping his brow there, the coach. A few beads of sweat were starting to come down there. Got a bit close.
4 goals again for Argentina.
So 2 conceded, there'll be more concern.
Yeah. You could very easily wear the coat that says, no matter how many you score, we'll score more than you. You would argue that probably would be the case right throughout this tournament.
You can do it a lot of the time, but not all of the time. Eventually, you're going to come unstuck.
Playing out the final few seconds here in Maracaibo, another eventful match at the Copa America 2007.
You've got the ability of Riquelme again. It's interesting to listen to Ozzy Ardila saying he's the one who's the more important player out there for them, even in front of Messi. When Ozzy Ardila said something like that, you sit up and take notice, and you can see why. Here's the look he gets.
Full-time whistle blown by the Brazilian referee Carlos Simon. 43 goals now scored in 12 matches in this Copa America tournament, and you will be back for more, I have no doubt. Argentina are through to the quarter-finals. Colombia almost certainly making an early exit home. Argentina win it by 4-2.
Yes, 4-2 sounds comfortable, but actually for a moment or two it wasn't all that comfortable, was it? Ari laughed. Think back to that chance he had from distance that struck the crossbar. Could have been 3 each. But they're through. The favourites are through to round 2. That's guaranteed. Paraguay against Argentina is the final game. It will decide who finishes top. They may not want to finish top. Depends who they go through to play. There'll be all kinds of permutations, goal difference-wise. One for the conspiracy theorists, but they're both through. And we'll get the views of Ozzy Ardiles and Roy Hodgson in a moment on that. Don't forget to join us as we go back into Group A in the Copa tomorrow. Peru against Bolivia and Venezuela against Uruguay is the offering. 11 o'clock it all starts. Sky Sports 1. Yes, we're a little worried in the studio for Argentina. Getting the closing moments there. Ozzy Ardiles more than any of us. Roy Hodgson here as well with us. We'll get the views on that game from them in a very short moment or two. Argentina progress. They're through. The goals just keep coming. 20 in 4 Group C games.
And all the people of the lulled and dumbfound town are sleeping now. Hush! The babies are sleeping, the farmers, the fishers, the tradesmen, pensioners, cobbler, schoolteacher, postman and publican, the webfoot cocker women, and the tidy wives. Only your eyes are unclosed to see the black and folded town, fast and slow, asleep.
Introducing the new Lumix TZ3 from Panasonic. See it wide. See it close. See it all with the world's smallest digital camera with 10 times optical zoom and 28mm wide-angle lens. Lumix from Panasonic. Ideas for life.
The FBI estimates that there are less than 50 serial killers active in the United States today. Sometimes I wonder what it's like for the others.
My name's Dexter. I'm a serial killer. Nice to meet you.
You better be a cop.
No, forensics. I find the killers the cops can't catch.
Mary, full of grace, the Lord.
Stop! That never helps anybody. Which is why if I'm looking for you, you better hope they get to you first.
Dexter, The Killer new series, only on FX.
Get closer to Sony at the summer sale. Now on in-store at Sony Centres and online at Sony Style. Right now, buy any Bravia LCD TV from 32-inch and above from $699. And get peace of mind with a free 5-year warranty. Enjoy expert advice and after-sales service on the latest award-winning Bravia HD-ready LCD TV range. The sale's on at Sony Centres and online at Sony Style. There's nowhere better for Sony.
Hey! Fancy a circuit board X2000?
I think I'll have one of those C2 circuit boards. That's right. Half the strength, tastes great, and I like it.
He's not wrong.
C2 circuit boards, also available as lager.
From now on, we all have more time. Because with Vodafone, the internet is now truly mobile. So you can make use of every minute of every day. Vodafone. Make the most of now.
Resident Evil 4, Wii Edition. The nightmare just got real.
Everything you see is interest-free?
Not when you got a few bob on 1-0, love. Go!
Skybet. It matters more when there's money on it.
It's Group C for celebration. We've had 20 of them, goal celebrations that is, in 4 games, an average of 5 goals a game in Group C. It's certainly the one for entertainment. Argentina 4, Colombia 2 is a full-time result tonight. Ozzy Ardiles, Roy Hodgson here with us. 4-2 looks comfortable on paper, doesn't it? But at times, Ozzy, it was a little shaky in there tonight.
It was very shaky here the one particular time. Argentina, I mean, when they have the ball, when the ball is played with the midfield, it's really, really wonderful to watch, and they create chance after chance after chance. But I have to say that Argentina, you want to be a little bit critical. You have to improve the defense, certainly. They are conceding too many soft goals, and like we were talking with Roy, if against more powerful opposition like Brazil, for example, that would be very, very dangerous.
And their Achilles heel looks to be early goals that they concede, Roy. Ericsson Pereira, within 10 minutes, they were behind again tonight.
Yeah, and set plays, of course, because tonight both the goals came from set plays, and I don't think they'll be too happy with being fooled by that one and not getting out quicker than they did. And in particular, the marking for the second goal and the free header from the corner kick, I'm sure the coach won't be pleased with that, because we coaches are not pleased when those things happen.
Hernan Crespo equalised from the spot, didn't he? Had a chance before they went 1-0 down when the ball didn't...
The crossbar
didn't go across the line, but the incident that led to the penalty, still not concerned that this was a legitimate penalty given.
No, the penalty was a little bit general for Argentina. Coming from an Argentinian, that means that it was not a penalty. So you didn't have a touch of luck there, sure.
And more significant, Hernan Crespo pulls up after the take, Roy, which could cost him the rest of the tournament in terms of his participation.
Absolutely. He'll be disappointed, I'm sure, because he'll want to be there right to the very end. But it's a good opportunity now for Milito, who scored his first goal for Argentina tonight. I'm sure he'll be anxious to take the opportunity he's now been given.
Even more Well, even more important is than the likes of Riquelme coming to the fore in this competition. 2 goals for him tonight. A good performance from him. That's what Argentina need, Ozzy.
Yes, absolutely. Not only the 2 goals, but he's the guy that completely dominates. The Argentinian tempo is dictated by him. There are a lot of players. I mean, Messi have a wonderful game as well. Very, I mean, it's a joy to watch, but Riquelme is the one that dictates all the tempo, dictate basically how Argentina is going to play. If Riquelme having a good game, Argentina will be wonderful. If Riquelme have a bad game, Argentina can have a very hard time.
That was his first of the night, the second a free kick in injury time at the end of the first half. How important is he, Riquelme, to this side? For them to, we know how strong the squad is, but is he one of the key players for them if they're to go all the way this time round?
He obviously is, because the other players are so keen to give him the ball. But what would interest me in these days of statistics and pro zones, it'd be very interesting to see how many contacts with the ball he has, because it seems to me he has the ball very, very often. He doesn't take many touches. That was a rare instant that we saw leading to the second goal, I think it was. Where he takes 3 touches, because most of the time he plays on 1 and 2 touches. He's passing over short